How will your book help leaders reap the benefits of effective collaboration?
At the end of each chapter, there's a series of practices, some that we call visible practices, that are things that the observers can easily see happening from the leader. Some are more subtle, where they're suggestions of a way to do something that's pretty hard for people to observe, but together the visible and subtle practices are important to collaboration or any of the other topics in the book. And we lay those out in quite detail at the end of each chapter. And then at the very end of each chapter in part 2, we have a series of self-assessment questions so that a person can go and ask themselves, how do I rate myself on this particular dimension of collaboration or of communication? And we think that's very helpful in testing where people are in the skills development.
First section of the book is about beliefs, and you got to have those. Then you have practices. But within the practices, we have these two sets of practices. One are visible, everybody will notice, and some of it, and the other part is highly subtle that people don't notice, and it takes time to understand those. For example, subtle types of things that you would say that are part of the collaborative environment is, who do you have in a room, for example? Do you have the right people in the room? And are you, probing? That type of thing that is more subtle, that a lot of times people don't put a lot of emphasis on. But when you merge those two together, you get somebody who really knows how to collaborate, or really knows how to manage performance at a high level, or really knows how to communicate in a really powerful way. All that comes together when you can do both the visible and the subtle. And what we try to do in the book is talk a lot about that and that interaction of them. And we probably haven't identified, I'm sure we haven't identified all the subtle actions, but we tried to identify as many of them as we possibly could.